As a Native American prosecutor involved in this team, I see it as kind of my goal to show them that I care, that I do want them to be in recovery, I do want them to stay sober, and I want them to stay sober so they can take this back to their community and help other people. Whether that sobriety is long-term, I think is not necessarily the most important thing. It's that it can be done and that we're here to help you with it. So one of the ways I balance public safety with the goals of court and the recovery program is making sure in terms of sanctions, I look at not just what the participant did, but also how that impacts the overall safety of the community. Ultimately, because I represent the state, I need to make sure that I take into consideration the safety of the community and what the participant is being sanctioned for. And so we just have to make sure that the sanction is appropriate to what violation the participant had. There can be legal challenges because we want to, the goal of the court is to promote sobriety. But what ends up happening sometimes along the way in promoting sobriety is that people or participants do things that end up endangering the community. And those can be just a part of sobriety, like relapsing, driving while on a revoked license without the ignition interlock. Those are safety concerns for the community because this person has a history of driving while impaired, and we want to make sure that we're monitoring them. So when they come in with either positive ETGs or positive interlock violations, I have to take that into consideration along with the offense that they committed that got them into the recovery court program. And so I may request a sanction that the other people involved in the program may not necessarily agree with, because as a state I have an obligation to protect the community from drunk drivers. So that legally that can kind of be a challenge to the overall goal of the recovery court. And ethically, what usually happens in a person's recovery, that can be challenging as well, because usually what happens in recovery is people do relapse. And while we want to make sure that their relapse doesn't need to lead to another relapse, I still have to impose some kind of sanction as the state, because the understanding is that while they're in the program, they're not to consume alcohol. If they do, I as the state have to request some kind of sanction for that.